President Biden in terms of what this really means. Okay, I know all the headlines are, oh, he came out strong about voting rights. His talking about voting rights, the way he did it and the way he defined it, is not just another layer of rhetoric. He has just defined the biggest test for his presidency since the initial role of getting the vaccine out when he first came into power. In calling the wave of state voting laws that are upon us the greatest threat to our democracy since the Civil War, he's created a bar for himself. Listen to what he said.
The big lie is just that, a big lie. In America, if you lose, you accept the results. You don't call facts fake and then try to bring down the American experiment just because you're unhappy. This is election subversion. Are you on the side of truth or lies, fact or fiction? We'll be asking my Republican friends in Congress and states and cities and counties to stand up for God's sake and help prevent this concerted effort to undermine our election and the sacred right to vote. Have you no shame?
No, they have no shame. And the president should know that. The question is, can he get it done? Again, we know there is no shame in their game. We know that they know it is a lie. We know that the big lie was cooked up weeks before the election. Trump had been feeding it to you for weeks as a suggestion. Now we know that on election night, as Trump was losing, they were already figuring out how to fulfill the false prophecy. Two Washington Post reporters write in the book, I Alone Can Fix It, that Giuliani was telling other guests at the White House, ready for this? He had come up with a strategy for Trump and was trying to get into the president's private quarters to tell him about it. Some people thought Giuliani may have been drinking too much. Stepien, Meadows, and Miller, Jason Miller, took Giuliani down to a room just off the map room in the White House to hear him out. Giuliani went state by state. What's happening in Michigan, he asked. They said it was too early to tell. Votes were still being counted and they couldn't say. Just say we won, Giuliani told them. Same thing in Pennsylvania. Just say we won Pennsylvania. So look, we know that Trump and co. were all in on the lie from jump. Here is what we don't know. Here is what the current president just made the bar. Can Biden pass what he calls the test of our time? Can he stop the wave of restrictive laws? The GOP has already enacted 28 new laws in 17 states. They remove, reduce, and restrict what was allowed in this past election. Why? Why else but to suppress the amount of turnout that we just had in this election, particularly the black vote. There are also restrictive bills waiting for action in 48 states. Look, we know there is no proof of fraud. You saw the CPAC guy here imagining that there were all these signatures. They didn't follow the law. They looked at the ballots. As I said during the interview, just because you let somebody give their argument doesn't mean you're not going to check it. That's called dialogue, okay? So in debate, he said they didn't check every box, and that's it. But that's not fraud, even if they didn't check every box. And when they looked to see if the signatures were real, they found almost none, and then they worked them out. And that was done by Republicans. The Texas governor, a Republican, said he saw no proof that there was any fraud in his state's elections. But now he's pushing laws that fix what wasn't broken. Even Mitch McConnell told you there was nothing to fix.
There's nothing broken around the country. The system upheld very well during intense stress.
Now, the question for him is, on this and on vaccines, we have the exact right person to ask tonight. Why doesn't McConnell, if he believes those things, why doesn't he speak out about people who are saying the opposite and wantonly lying within his own party? What kind of leader is he? We're We're going to ask somebody who should know the answer in just a moment. But first, think about what Biden did today. He warned you, prepare now for Republican attacks on the midterms next year. But that's not the bar for him. We know that's going to happen. What is he going to do about it? Can he get all Democrats on board to stop the laws that will almost certainly reduce Democrat chances in the states that pass the same? The stakes are clear, as is the Democrat desperation. Right now, dozens of state lawmakers are risking arrest, fleeing to D.C. from Texas to shine a light on the voting rights fight. The risk is real. What can Biden do about it if it is the test of his time? Reaction to what seems to be the most toxic tech I've ever seen from what was the grand old party.